What's up guys, it's Eric from B-Side. Today we have here a 2016 Toyota Land Cruiser and we're going to be installing the Apple CarPlay Android Auto retrofit. It's a plug-and-play kit and it's compatible with 2016 all the way to 2019 Toyota Land Cruiser models. It's going to be a fairly straightforward, easy install. In regards to tools, all you need is a 10mm socket with a wrench, some panel removal tools, and a Phillips screwdriver. So let's not waste any time, get inside the vehicle and get started. Alright guys, now that we're in the vehicle, the first thing we're going to do is remove these panels on both sides. So grab a really big panel removal tool for this one, like this. And you're going to just dig inside here and just pop it out. This one's on here pretty tight, so you're going to need a big panel removal tool. Like this. Alright. Okay, there it is. And then put this aside. We're going to do it for the other side. Same, just put it in there and just pry it out. Okay. And once you have that out, you'll notice that there's a 10mm bolt that's holding this right here. And there's also a clip that's holding it down there. So we're going to use this and remove it. Alright. Make sure you don't lose these screws. Alright. And then this clip here, I just have to push it in like that. And just pull it out and go ahead and set this aside, and then we're gonna just pull this out like that. All right, and then I'm gonna do the same for this side, exactly the same. All right, and there's gonna be one connector here that's connected to your start button. Push the release tab on the other side and then pull on the connector like that. Okay, the next step, we're going to remove this shift knob. Just turn it counterclockwise. All right, next we're going to pull this out. This is just being held by clips. When you do so, just be careful you don't hit this. If you're kind of concerned, you could just place a towel like this when you pull this out. There it is. All right, next we're going to remove this top piece here. Use a smaller panel removal tool. Set it under here. All right. That, and then just pry it up. Just like that. And go ahead and just work your way around it, releasing all the clips. And then there is a connector here that's for your light sensor. Push in the release tab and then pull out just like that. Just remember, always pull on the connector, not on the wire. All right, next we're going to remove these two vents. This is probably going to be the most trickiest part. First, you want to just put your finger up here and just pull it towards you. And then once you get it started, grab your small panel removal tool. Okay. And then when you're putting it in here, put it in an area that's not too close here. You don't want to indent this. So put it here and then just pull it towards you, okay? Just work your way. Okay, there you go. All right, we're gonna do this on both sides. All right, now we are going to remove 1, 2, 3, 4 10mm bolts. And then we're gonna just pull this top screen out. Just be very careful. Okay, and then go ahead and just disconnect all the cables, the connectors behind it. And these edges here are very sharp. So be very careful when you're handling this top monitor that you don't hit any part of the vehicle with it. If you're a little concerned, you could wrap this in tape. So once this is out, we're going to unbolt these 4 10mm bolts here. All right, and then carefully pull this out. Okay, just like that, and set aside some towel. Put some towel here, and you could just rest the radio like this. All All right, and then we also noticed that there's a clip here that was left in this hole. Let's go ahead and remove this and then go ahead and place it back right here, just like that. All right, so the next step, we're gonna go to the passenger side and we're gonna drop the glove box. All right, so to drop the glove box, we're gonna start from the door sill. So use a panel removal tool like this, can put it on the inside part and then just pry it up. Okay. And just put it aside like this. Make sure not close your door during this because you can deform and smash this. All right, and then we're gonna drop this lower panel piece. There might be some release tabs. There's some release tabs you have to push. Just go ahead and feel for it. All right, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 release tabs. Then disconnect the connector for your light. And this will expose 4 10mm bolts. 1, 2, and then 3 and 4. We're gonna remove those. All right, once we remove those, this assembly here is ready to be dropped. Just go ahead and just give it a good tug. All right, and just let it hang here. And next, we are going to take this piece off. Just use the smaller panel removal tool, or you could actually just put your hand down here and just pry it out. Okay, there it is. Your 10mm again, you're gonna undo this. And then go ahead and open the glove box, and then go ahead and remove this panel piece. Just go ahead and just grab this and push it towards you. Like that. All right, and then you're going to remove these 2 small panel pieces. Use a smaller panel removal tool. Put it inside this little opening. Just pry it out. And then use your 10mm. Move it like this. And then right here. And go ahead and just close the glove compartment, and then you can just go ahead and drop this. Just be very careful. Go hold it on this bottom. And there's going to be a wire here, this harness. Just go ahead and dislodge it from the little holders. And on this side, you'll find the little connector. Just push down on the release tab and just pull it like that. And then go ahead and set your glove box aside. All right, so now that we have everything that we need to remove all removed, we're gonna start connecting our harness. All right, so now we're ready to do the connections. So grab your main connector, the big one right here, and grab your small panel removal tool. You are going to press down on this release clip, push up, okay? And then we're gonna daisy chain it to this piece right here. This is the main connector. That, and this one like that. All right, just as a side note, be careful with these brackets edges. These are very, very sharp, and it actually got me here, so you guys be a little bit more careful to not hurt yourself. All right, and then once we have this cable in place, these connectors in place, go ahead and route all these cables. This harness or this T-harness, you're gonna just push this up. You're gonna go behind here, and it's gonna be a little bit of opening. So move it up like this, okay? And then one side of this, the female side, is going to connect to the black cable, like that. And just leave it aside for now. And then this piece over here that has this side of connector, you are going to route this behind and to the right. Gonna use your other finger to catch it, okay? And once again, be careful you don't cut your finger while you're doing this. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna come back here. Just use 2 of your fingers, just catch it, and just bring it out like this. All right. And while you're doing this, check the wire route. Make sure it's not being tangled or you're not like crossing wires and so forth, just always try to go in a straight line without crossing other wires. And then we also have this microphone cable. You're gonna go through the same route as this. Okay, like that. Okay. And this power cable here, is connected to the top part of the harness. So go ahead and start from the top. And then you're gonna go sideways here. Stick your hand up here. Be careful not to cut your hands. Just bring it down like that. And then let's connect our audio cable. Audio cable is right here, connector. Just press down on the release tab on the connector. Connect the female side of our harness to the car side, and then the male side of this harness into the radio. Okay, you want to hear that audible click. And then we're going to route this audio cable the same way we routed these two cables. Okay, using the same method. Just stick your finger in there, and you're going to catch the head of this from the left side to the right. All right, so we routed all those cables. All right, everything looks good so far. Okay, and then we want to now route the GVIF cables. So we got two GVIF cables. One is labeled in, one is labeled out. We are going to go straight to the monitor area, straight down here. I'm gonna do one GVIF cable at a time. All right, so we got one GVIF cable through like this, okay? And then we're gonna route another one, okay? And then we got the second one right here. All right, and going back to this area, this is the factory LVDS cable, and we are going to connect the female side like that. And then the male side here is going to connect to the monitor, okay? So back to the monitor, we have a few cables that's gonna be reconnected. These two factory connectors, the new connector, and then our GVIF connector. They're all gonna be connected like this, okay? All right, so now we're gonna put this monitor back in. Before you do that, let's do one comment here. There's a lot of room behind the monitor, and you can actually tuck both boxes in here in addition to the harness, but the reason why we don't do it and we put it over here is we would rather have our electronics away from everything so that it'll create less of an interference if it does. And it's just a better way to, instead of smashing everything in one small location, have it separated out. It just gives a better chance of heat dissipation, and you won't have wires getting tangled all over the place. So behind the monitor, there's going to be 4 connectors that are going to connect to it. One's going to be the GVIF cable. We also have this connector for the monitor. We have these other 2 connectors as well. So just make sure you don't forget to connect all of them. Okay, so here we go. And then once again, when you're handling the top monitor, be careful with these edges because they're very sharp. All right, then go ahead and then let's tuck this back in. All right, there it is. And then we have these cables over here and all the other wires and harnesses routed. And then now let's go ahead and connect our interface. The dip switch setting is already going to be set for you. Just in case if you want to refer to the instructions, it'll tell you the dip switch setting just in case if you accidentally knock it to a different setting. So let's go ahead and first connect this. So the GVIF cable that's labeled out is going to be connected to the inside. Just like that. And then the other one is going to be labeled in. Can't see it because we covered it. It's going to be in here. And grab this main connector, just like that. Okay, on the other side, we're going to connect the HDMI cable. Like this. Then the other side of this is going to the plastic box. Okay, just like that. Let me see, okay. And then we got this power cable here. This is going to connect to this little 2-pin plug running to the HDMI cable. And then we have these two cables here. One of them is going to be for the audio and the other one's going to be for the microphone. The microphone one is going to connect to the USB side, and then the audio is going to connect to the HDMI side. But before we connect this like this, we want to use a noise filter, because for this specific model it tends to create some alternator noise. So we're going to connect this into our noise filter. You can purchase separately on Amazon. We'll leave the link in the website. And then the other side will connect like this. All right. And then this USB side over here is going to connect to the flush mount USB that we purchased on Amazon. I'll also leave a link. I'm going to use it in this blank space right here. All right. So I should have routed this earlier, but let me go ahead and do this now actually. So this model flush mount, it actually gets pushed in all the way over here like this. There's one that's flush mount on the outside. There's a few different types that you can check on Amazon. Alright guys, so we finished connecting our adapter and we want to test the unit. Before we test the unit, I want to put the radio back. But before I put the radio back, I realized that the radio has to go in first before the top screen. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove this really quick. Okay. And then carefully put this in beforehand. And then let me go ahead and bolt these 4 10mm bolts, 2 on the bottom and then 2 on the top right here, okay? Okay, now let me go ahead and turn on the vehicle. Before we do that, let me go grab my start button. Here's my start button. Just press on the 2 release tabs behind it to push it out. Okay. All right, just put the car into ACC. Depending on how long it took to remove the main connector behind the radio, your radio may initialize, might take some time. You'll see a black screen, then it'll go to loading. Ours, we switched it really quickly, so that menu didn't come out. All right, so to go into CarPlay mode, you are going to long press the up button right here. Okay, see that system ready? That means that it's working. Let me go ahead and connect my iPhone to it. All right, looks like everything's working. Let me go back to the factory screen. Okay, so you want to select auxiliary for your sound, like that. Okay, and then make sure your volume is up. Long press the up button, and let's test for music. All right, looks like the audio's working. Let me see if Siri hears me. What's the weather, Siri?
It's currently clear.
All right, sweet. Cool, everything looks like it's working. Let me go ahead and reverse order my installation on this side, and on this side over here, I'll tell you how to mount your boxes. All right, so before we tuck in this part, how I'm going to do this is you can either put the interface up here, it fits in between here, and for us we are just going to tuck this under there, inside there, and then we're going to tuck this under here. All right, here's the interface here. All right, so we're going to seclude all the wirings with the interface, and this is all for the CarPlay box. Okay, we're just going to put this down, just tuck it in here. Alright, we have this one HDMI sticking out. And we're going to grab this box on the place for this. We want to route all these wires down under this panel. The audio, the mic, and the power cable. Plug these back. This one could just plug here. Let's not forget the USB. And then we're going to go ahead and tuck this in while we're putting in the panel piece right here. Okay. Don't forget to plug this small connector in. Tuck this wire like this, like how it was. And then the 4 10mm bolts gets back in. Okay, I'm gonna use some double-sided tape and then I'm gonna stick it right here. Alright, and then we go ahead and organize these wires and put this under panel back on. Alright guys, so we finished installing. We reverse ordered everything. Let's go ahead and continue on with the demonstration video. Alright guys, so we finished installing, so let me do a quick demonstration. So I'm going to turn on the vehicle. Everything about your car is going to be exactly the same, just how you remember it. The only difference now, we have CarPlay and it's a wire solution, and here's the plug for it. To access CarPlay, what we want to do first is go to your audio and then select source. We already selected auxiliary, but go ahead and select auxiliary. That's the source they're going to use for CarPlay. And after you select that, you're going to long press the up arrow button here. It's going to take you to the screen that says system ready. This is a screen you'll see when your phone is not connected. So grab your iPhone and connect it. First time it's going to have you unlock it, and it's going to ask you, do you allow MV17 to work while the phone is locked? Just go ahead and click yes. And once you get here, everything works touchscreen. Drag action works as well. Most of you guys are probably already familiar with the CarPlay interface. This is a home screen. It gives you a split screen here with the last used map. And then all the apps that you have downloaded on your phone that is compatible with CarPlay will automatically display onto the screen. So let me do a really quick example. So here's music from YouTube, okay? And then you could change the volume. Unfortunately, the volume change on the screen will not show. You can also use your steering wheel control to change the volume as well. All right. And then you can also use this track up and down as well. So you press up, next track, bottom is previous track. All right, and to summon Siri, you're gonna long press this. What's the weather, Siri?
It's currently clear and 90 degrees.
And if you want to leave this screen, all you have to do is long press the up button one more time, and it'll take you out to your factory screen. And long press again, it'll take you back here. All right, guys, well, there's also 2 things you want to remember when using this CarPlay kit. The first thing is when you first turn on the vehicle, if you have your phone already connected to this before you turn on your vehicle, sometimes what happens is the phone gets confused to which output it should give its music to. Car's Bluetooth or this CarPlay device. So sometimes if you have it connected, you turn on your vehicle and you go to this music player like this, you see the counter move, but you don't hear any music. That's because the phone's outputting music through the car's Bluetooth. When that happens, just do a quick replug. Just unplug it and go ahead and replug it in, and then you'll be able to hear your music. So make sure you remember that. All right, guys, well, this concludes our installation demonstration of the CarPlay Android Auto retrofit for the Land Cruiser. If you have any additional questions, drop a line below or email us at info@bsonicusa.com. If you haven't already, help us by subscribing and also liking the video. Thanks very much.